A lot of Idea fans keep commenting on my previous video. Hey, Tim, question. Why does Ideaology keep dumping? Dump? Those are little BB sides rabbit turds. That is not a dump. So in this video, we're going to do something extra special. Ready? We're going to dissect a dump and identify what a dump is, or if you just have pellet sized little baby rabbit turds. Here we go. But before we go in there, look, if you haven't looked at my Bitcoin analysis video, Bitcoin is the primary indicator for Ideology, more primary than everything in Ideology except for price action itself of Ideology. Click that link now. Watch it before this video, because nothing in this video matters without knowing what Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to do. Friggin' click it and then come back to this video. We'll see you on the flip side. All right, so let's dissect a dump. So what I've done here is I have drawn in the daily 10 and 21 EMAs on the daily chart. So when I take off EMAs or switch timeframes, even on the 1 hour, we can see that red line, the daily 10 EMA, which is the red line, held at price. That's not a dump. Yo, folks, this is literally, like I said earlier, these are rabbit turds. Perfectly fine. Easy to pick up off your floor. Or if you have a Yorkie or a Pomeranian, like this is just like, this is not even Pomeranian poop. This is just like a dry rabbit turd that hasn't been squashed by 4 kids stampeding on your carpet. But yeah, like this is like on a nice ceramic floor poop, rabbit turd. I mean, very, very nice price action. This is not a dump. All right. In this video, I am not going to show you a real dump. Yeah, I mean, this is great. It just came down to its daily 10 EMA, bounced right off of it. It looks fantastic. And honestly, when you take a look at Ideology and look at some of these horizontals, which will create resistance, similar, actually, that might be a weekly horizontal. Yeah, you're going to have some major resistance up at, so see these candle bodies over here, weekly candle bodies back from the week of April 5th and April 12th. So if you draw a straight line or horizontal line from that, that's going to be hard to get over. So when you dissect, so you draw that line in, then go down to something like the daily, you know, what you're looking for is the daily 10 EMA. So you're going to get into a battle. You're going to have a battle between this line, which is technically a weekly line, but then draw it in and go down timeframes. And if you draw in the daily EMA and this weekly horizontal, then you could go, but also you have to adjust it day by day, right? Because if price really goes up, you have to move it up. So you see what I'm doing there? Anyway, when you draw in lines, you have to move them around a little bit after a daily closure if a lot of the volatility happens. But anyway, then you can go down to the hour. And as long as you have your 10 EMA adjusted, you don't have to adjust this line anymore. You can see the strength and the probability with which Idea will pop up above 60 cents if it can keep pinging off of this red line as we redraw it. That's it. There is no dump. This is freaking great price action. You're probably going to get an EMA horizontal squeeze. EMA, and if this is like not familiar territory with you, right? And you don't know what a squeeze is or what I'm talking about, we cover this stuff in my community. I have library videos that explains this stuff. But this is EMA getting ready to battle with the pressure of downwards of this horizontal, but this EMA is pressure upwards. So in a bullish market, typically whatever's providing the pressure upwards, once it's close enough, it will lift price above, and you usually get an explosion, but before the explosion, you get lack of volatility. So this EMA is going to challenge this, right? And if you just see price ping off here once and then fly above, well, what's probably going to happen? It's going to come back down and retest the 10 as it's crossing. So there are 2 common ways that price, let's see here, resolves or what's that accounting word? Damn it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Reconciles. There we go. How it reconciles getting over an obstacle when you have an EMA in play, which is almost always, not always, but the first way is you lack volatility, you get squeezed as the EMA goes above this pressure point. So you have 2 pressure points. It's the battle of which one will win. Will down win or will up win? And since Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing what they're doing, it's very likely going to be the 10 EMA that wins that battle, but it's not always. Sometimes that's where it rolls over. And in that first of 2 situations. So next I'm going to show you the other most probable scenario for this, but however, if you draw those lines in and get on that lower time frames, and you see a lower time frame go like this, and then use it as resistance a couple times, that means it's probably going to break down, and you can't see it as well on the daily chart, which is why it's so important that if you do use lower time frames, draw in the the larger time frames, EMAs and horizontals. I'm telling you, it helps so much, right? And the second way this could reconcile this line is it can ping off this one more time, fly above, maybe even hit like $1 or something to that effect, come back down, and then respect. So let me make this line red. It would then come back down to say, hey, actually, so that would be price coming back down to say, oh, wait, I'm supposed to use you as the foundation of my house. Oh, let me come back down, make a quick visit. You know, it's like going grocery shopping. Okay, I need to go to the store real quick. So that price coming back down would be coming back down and say, okay, I respect you. Are you still my foundation? Can I still use you as support? Can I still cry on your shoulder and lean on you? Okay. And once it finally does that, so that's what price would be saying if it blasts off before the squeeze plate. Am I making sense? It's kind of like if you personify price action, that's what it's doing. And so that would be what is happening here. And these are the two most likely scenarios that will play out within the throughout the first half of November, getting into November 20th with Ideaology. Before we get any farther in this video, flip your phone or get flipped off. Tim, what does that mean? It means flip your phone vertically. No, seriously, freaking do it. And now that it's vertical and you can see the like button, hit the like button. And if you're new and you like what you're seeing, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Why should you hit the bell? Well, here's why. That's a great question. Because this is time sensitive stuff. So if I'm going to help walk you through a more profitable crypto journey, got to hit that bell. So you're going to help me help you. And you know what helps me help you even more? Leaving a comment, even if it's just a period without the tampon, without the tampon, or just if you're a B-Pro fan, you're just here because you're, spending time on a Cosa video, yell B-Pro or yell Trias or whatever. You yell whatever you want. Just make sure you don't talk about my mom or something like that. All right. All right. Rock and roll. Let's jump back into it. Or talk about my wife. No, that would actually be worse because my wife actually follows my YouTube stuff and that would be bad. All right. So yeah, you don't want to do that. I married a spicy Latina woman and I'm often find myself scared of her. All right. You don't mess with Latina women. Seriously. All right. So don't do that. All right. So let's dissect this on the weekly chart. All right. So similar to how, if you've watched my Polk stuff, this week came up from 3 horizontals down and tested this one and got rejected. Let me make this pink again. Okay, 3 horizontals down. So even though Idea might maintain green week after green week, the weeks are likely going to get bunched up here under this until 1 week closes just above 60 cents. And then your weeks will have, quote unquote, if you can see me down below, quote unquote, permission. It doesn't have permission to have a massive week like that with a massive wick. It simply doesn't have the crypto permission to do that until a week closes. Not as in this week goes above 60. That doesn't count because it's not closed. But if a week were to close above and the next candle started, even if it were red, that'd be fine. And honestly, that would be a great pickup. If a week closed above this line, the next week's backfilled halfway, even down to 50 cents, that would probably be a good pickup because the statistical likelihood, assuming Bitcoin and Ethereum are still strong, and maybe not screaming up, at least sideways or better, the likelihood of that flipping grade is very, very, very high based on the weekly candle structure. But that's why it's so important, folks. I candot stress enough. If you are a fan of my altcoin videos, you really got to watch my Bitcoin stuff. It's more, you know how I use Stokes and RSI a whole bunch, candlestick formations and everything. Bitcoin for altcoins, Bitcoin and Ethereum price action, and what the 3 most probable scenarios for that is. Those are the most important things for any altcoin that you're holding, with some exceptions. Sometimes Solana might fly, without regard to Bitcoin price action, stuff like that. But small alts like this, like 99% of altcoins will be affected by it. It's the primary indicator. You got to watch those videos. I'm telling you, like I totally promise. If you don't have an idea, no pun intended. I actually didn't intend that one. If you don't have a clue about what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing and you're in altcoins and you're trying to do TA, it's useless. It literally becomes useless. Okay. All right. So but what I'm saying here on the weekly slowdown, and it doesn't have permission, that equates to the daily squeeze with the horizontal. It's a horizontal EMA squeeze. Does that make sense? And if you want to learn how to identify that stuff without watching YouTube videos all the time, I just take a look at the links to my privately gated Discord community down in the description section. And before you decide, hey, is this worth my time? Is this doofus? Is this worth my time and investment? I give you examples of the content that I produce for each three of the tiers. But here's the special thing about Idea, right? And this weekly, this daily 10 EMA horizontal squeeze play. Look, have you ever seen a weekly closure above this line in the whole history of Idea? Price history? Huh? No, you haven't. So what does that mean about our Pokemon cards? It means shit will fly after that, most likely. Could you have could you have a couple candles, like a green one that closes a little too far above, then the next week wicks down, then closes above, another small week, and then blast off, like in December? Sure, you could absolutely have consolidation on top of that line. And honestly, I would it's probably the top two most probable once it gets up there. I would say it'd probably keep flying, then consolidate on the top line. But it's very likely. But with that baked in to the idea of flying after a weekly closure over 60 cents, with that part of that equation, that is baked in. It's included in the statement of flying, right? Like, sometimes you got to take a nap before you fly, right? Like Goku, Dragon Ball Z, like he had to sleep and eat, he couldn't just keep doing his stuff. So if it flies close above, it might have to take a nap and take a snack before it goes to the gym to get work done. That's still flying, and it's flying after a closure. Will it be the week after a closure? Maybe. But regardless of a cat nap and a snack before going to the gym, or just continuation, go, straight up to $3, $5, $10, doesn't matter. It's going to revolve around a closure above this line, because it will be an all-time high closure on the weekly. And that is way more powerful than just spitting out an all-time high over this wick here. It's honestly, I promise you, it's more important. It is more important. Way more important than just breaking all-time highs. People who are looking at all-time highs like something like on the 4-hour chart, like, oh, it's breaking all-time highs and I'm buying a breakout. That's bullshit. You buy all-time high weekly closures, and then you're in way before this breakout way up here, right? Buying breakouts of wicks like this is setting you up to get freaking destroyed. Like, yeah, breakout trading on lower time frames without candlesticks of weekly, it can be done, but I don't know. It's kind of silly in my opinion. So really this could, the move, what I'm saying is, if I can talk, this move might just be beginning, folks. I don't want to be like hyper super bullish too much on this, but it is a low cap. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. Now you have some, doofus with a dash hat on talking about this all the time. A lot of things going for it. This could really, really heat up. And even without that, just structurally, look at what it's done its entire life. What has it done? For 266 days, it's consolidated under a weekly closure. So if you thought Trias's consolidation was special, look at this shit. Its whole life is a consolidation. And it's already tested it once. It's gonna close above that soon. And it's going to take off, folks. It's going to take off. Most likely. Now, could this all happen again? Going back to how important Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis on here are. Okay, so there are things that could negate this. But if you follow my Bitcoin and Ethereum videos, it would be baked in, right? So let me show you one thing to look out for. What could happen that could really put a hamper on these plans. All right, so what happens if it gets a slowdown, squeaks out of closure, wicks below, closes a red week, but above this line, then starts taking off? But that's exactly when Bitcoin starts correcting. It's probably going to come back down and test the weekly 10, which will be like way down here. It'll probably come back to like 50 cents, 60. It could find support at 60 cents. on a weekly closure, yeah, it would probably close a week above there, and a 25% down move of Bitcoin. Let's say by that time, Bitcoin's flying like at 98K or something, right? And it really starts taking off. But that's when Bitcoin corrects. This is going to correct hard with Bitcoin, especially if it does not consolidate here. If it put in 3 weeks of consolidation here and then took off, and then Bitcoin starts correcting, like let's say January, it'll probably rest on 60 and might not even wick below. But if it just takes off, so if it closes a week and takes off, whenever Bitcoin corrects, this correction will be, it'll probably go below 60 cents without consolidation. You see what I'm saying? So Bitcoin will have a 25 to 30% correction at least once or twice before the end of the bull market is over. I'm telling you, right? It's bound to happen. So this liftoff could coincide and be short-lived because it could coincide with Bitcoin and Ethereum's correction. But if this starts taking off with Bitcoin, which as of now it is, it could just stay on par with it, which would be healthier. But if it takes off later than Bitcoin, then it would be a short-lived run. It would have to reset down at 60K or wick below, something like that, and then restart once Bitcoin gets fired up. And that could take you a whole 45 days of boring ass price action in the whole crypto market, including this, right? So make sure that that your emotions about this coin are always tied to the reasonableness, if that's a word, the reasonableness and expectations and analysis on Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay? And realize, wait, what are the structures? So remember the idea, no pun intended, the thought process of on my B-Pro video where I said, whenever something you think is finding support, if Bitcoin even dips 3%, you need to look down and ask yourself, what's next? What's the next point people are going to see down below this if it doesn't hold, where people will become buyers, right? So just know that you need to have those things in mind, that just mental tricks on yourself, so you're not caught in this shit's up forever, because it's going to wreck you, because you won't ever sell. You'll think it's up forever, right? And personally, I'm staking this, so I'm not touching my idea for quite some time, most likely deep into next year. But if you aren't staking 100% of your idea and you're trying to sell, or you're just a hodler, right? Just in terms of waking up and my account is down $50,000 or $500, whatever is a lot to you, right? On a percentage basis. As long as you have that expectation baked in because you're aware of the market, following Kosa videos, Bitcoin, Ethereum, that type of stuff. When you wake up to those unrealized, I guess, drops in profit, you're up one day and the next day it's like way down, right? You're not going to be freaked out and you're not going to get shaken out of crypto. So you need to keep particularly with high expectations like Idea, which I have high expectations, you always have to keep your emotions like close to yourself and don't let them run away, because it will leave your body behind. And then when they come back, they'll come back like in a vengeance, like in those movies where like a demon can go inside of you, like or the last scene of the Matrix movie, I don't know, like where he goes into a person. When your emotions come back, if you let them get too far away, they're going to take you over and you're going to click around. You're going to do something stupid. You're going to do something real stupid if you're not expecting it. So I want to tamper your emotions at the end of this video with that, because I lost so much money in 2017, people. And that's honestly why I even began YouTubing in the first place, is because I was like, oh my God, I got destroyed. I'm better at, I even thought like I'm better at math and patterns and the people who essentially took my money and I gave it to them willing. Like, how did I let this happen? Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Sorry, I don't cuss very much. I apologize on these videos. But everybody is there once, right? And a lot of my viewers, I try to cater to people new to crypto. And the thing is, when you don't know that you don't know things, sometimes you think you know stuff. Like somebody came on my channel and said, what did he say? That's a dumbass statement. He quoted me something about, I said, oh, it's silly to hold crypto for years and years, like 4 years at a time or something. And he goes, that's a dumbass statement. If you just bought Cardano at the beginning and Bitcoin at the beginning, this and that, like that's the stupidest statement. And never asked me why I said. So that type of person, coming on my channel, he didn't know what he didn't know. It's called unconscious incompetence. So you're not aware of what you're not aware of, I guess. And so just make sure that if you're new, there's so like this market is brutal. There's a lot you don't know out here. So just stay tuned to my channel and I'll try to keep updated. I'll try to keep you safe in crypto. When I smell sell signals, I will let you know without freaking you out. And I'm going to try to help you through this. We're going to get through this together and we're going to be freaking laughing all the way to the bank. Hopefully that is the plan. I cannot guarantee that. This is for Pokemon card trading, entertainment, and educational purposes only. Flip your phone. If you haven't done it or get flipped off, hit the like button. Leave me a comment. It's going to help me continue making more videos for you. Smash the bell for me because that when you get alerts and it's time sensitive about your idea, you're going to want to know, right? Right? Yes? So hit the bell before you go. All right. See you later. Y'all just got timified.